about 9 o'clock in the evening, and I haven't really fixed anything today. Not anything with my hands. I guess it depends on what you consider fixing things. But for this purpose, I'm talking about fixing something that's broken with stuff. So this is fairly straightforward. This, I don't know what you call it, rail, broke off of this chair. It's a pretty well-made, sturdy stool. We got 4 of these some years ago. We got them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace at a good price. They were pretty expensive. Pottery Barn, I think. But they do have a weak point here, which is right in here. This is the piece that goes into the legs over here. There's one on either side. You can see where they have drilled access to the head of the screw that holds this into place on the leg there. And what broke off is the remainder of this piece that still has the screw in it. So I could take out the remainder of the wood and the screw, glue it back together, and then screw it back in. But I think what I'm going to do is put these in and glue just simply glue these in place without taking out the piece that's in there. It could end up being stronger. I'm not really sure. The first thing I need to do, though, is I need to clean out what's left in there. This does not go fully into the hole, the cavity there. There's probably a little bit of wood in there that I need to clean out on that side. And on this side, well, let's see. I know which way this one goes. Let's start with that. If this goes this way, this goes this way. And that means this is approximately where this goes, yeah, like that. So that goes in fully. So I think that one I'll just glue. And this one I'll need to clean out a little bit. Get something. Just a little small screwdriver ought to work. I'll lay this on its side. Take a look in here. I don't want that piece to not penetrate fully to the original depth. It's this one. It's a really simple project. I've been watching videos recently of Adam Savage. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I had never heard of him. I ran across his YouTube channel kind of randomly. And the first video that I watched was one in which he takes an entire roll of aluminum foil and he just unrolls the whole thing, and as he unrolls it, he crumples it up and it becomes a ball which he compresses, and spends several hours then hammering into a ever smaller and smaller ball, rotating it, hammering it. He uses not a steel hammer, but he uses some kind of a hard plastic, or a hammer that's pretty large in diameter but not made of metal, so it doesn't dent it, it just flat of it compresses, and he ends up with a ball about this big made out of a roll of aluminum foil. And I thought, I love this guy. This is my brother from another mother. So I've been watching his videos and I've been really enjoying them. And he was one of the original hosts of Mythbusters show. He's also been an actor, so that settles in there much better now. I think that will be just fine. One more little, let me get this one more little bit out. And I should get a little water also with a rag, because the wood glue is going to squidge out, and I'm going to want to be able to clean that off quickly. So Adam Savage has been an inspiration to me in that he has validated my desire to do very random kinds of experiments in using discarded materials for. I guess he sees the value in discarded items. He sees a piece of steel and he thinks, I can make something out of that. And I love that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to glue. I'm going to keep compression on here. I'll use a big clamp for that. Quick clamp, but without something, this is going to simply slide. Now I could drill through, put a nail in here. That would be one way. The other thing I could do is I could clamp around this, which is kind of what I'm inclined to do. The only problem with clamping it is I'm not going to have any good way to get the excess glue out. So I'm thinking that maybe what I should do is clamp this, and while it's clamped, I can through drill at an angle, and I can put a small nail through there, a finish nail, which will keep this from sliding apart as I clamp it. So I'm going to go get some more supplies right now. So I have my rail for the chair right here. And I got a couple of clamps. I have not tried them on yet. So I'm experimenting as I go here. Let's see. Okay, that seems to be a pretty good fit. And then this one These are called hose clamps, or it's what I've always known them to be. Typically, I didn't have to switch that around. I just have a thing for having things organized just so. Typically, what I've known these for is for the automotive use of clamping hoses in an automobile vehicle context. Radiator hoses, hoses that go to your heater core, which do come from the cooling system of the automobile. Smaller ones for things like fuel lines, that sort of thing. Okay, so what I want to do is get these in a place where they will hold this firmly enough that I can drill through here. The fact that they circle around is also a way to make sure that the edges are flush, because it will push this naturally. And the band around it is going to want to keep these flush. So that seems pretty good. I'm going to move this over to the vise. Could possibly just go, where do I want to, I think I'm going to go that kind of an angle, like that. I think as long as I have one side of it clamped, it should be okay. Let's go straight up and down, I think. Okay. Now, what I did is, I usually use a caliper. I don't know, micrometer. It's a caliper that will give me precise measurements. If I'm going to put something small, I need a hole that's approximately the size of something I don't know the diameter of. But it's out in my truck and I didn't want to go out. So I do have this micrometer. So if I go in on this, this is broken up into 25 thousandths is each of those lines right there. So this would be 20, I can count, let me see, 1, 2, so I can count 2 of those lines and part of another one, and the part of the other line, you know what part of it is by the numbers on here. So if you're right on one of those lines, it's at 0, it goes 20, and it goes all the way to 25, and then you start again. So this is 2 of them, which would be 50 plus another 20, 1, 2. So 50 plus 22. So this 72 thousandths of an inch is the diameter of this finish nail that I've selected. And I went and looked at my very small drill bits, and this drill bit is just about, hold on one second here. So this drill bit is, if I close this up, it is, I have 2 of those plus another 10, 11, 12. So that would be 62. So this bit is about 10 thousandths of an inch smaller in diameter than my nail. Is that enough smaller? Will it be too loose? I really don't know. It is hard wood, so there's that. The harder the wood, the less it's going to compress. At any rate, I'm going to put this in my drill. Now, this drill that I have right here, this is a drill that's used for what's called a VAD, ventricular access device. So this is it's shortened to ventric. So this is a ventric drill. This drill is a drill that one would use to drill a hole through someone's skull in order to relieve the cerebral pressure, okay? And I got this from work. It actually was used for that purpose. But it is a robust little drill. It doesn't look very robust, but if you think about it, it has to be made in a well enough fashion that although it's only going to be used once, it cannot fail the one time that it's used. So I'm going to try it for the first time. I've never used it for a project at all, but I am inclined to try using it on this. So we'll get started here. And I was going to use my DeWalt drill, and this drill has been on my workbench for some time now. You probably should just use the electric drill, because with this hand drill I'm getting a fair amount of wiggle, which means that my hole might not be as precise as I would like. I'm running into that clamp, so I got to back off on the bit a little bit. Came off. Tighten it back up, pull it out. Might have to move that clamp. I should have turned the clamp so that it was down a little bit more. In fact, I think I'm going to do that right now. And hopefully nothing will move. Here's what I'll do. I'm already through here a little bit. Let's see. Let me get through far enough. It might be through far enough that it's helping to pin the pieces together. Hope so. I don't want that to rotate. All right, good. And get that out of the way. Now, I don't have anything in the way. Let's pull this back out. I can. That's as far as that bit will go in. Okay. All right. Certainly would have been a lot faster. All the way through. I might be hitting that clamp. Hit something. Well, there's only one thing I could be hitting. So it must be the clamp on the other side. Okay. Now my nail is here. And I probably should have this I'm not too impressed with how I have it positioned right now, but let's go with a small, nice little hammer here. Get this out of my way. use a bigger hammer, but I really think I want to. Not terrible. Not great either. There we go, that's better. Now that may be, yes, it's all the way through. I can see it. So, let me take this off. But I'm going to just move it a little bit. There we go. I'm going to move it over this way because I want to bury that. I want to bury that head. Well, I'm not going to bury the head if I'm against here. So that's got to be, it's got to clear that, but I still need. Well, I'm doing a lousy job of this. But not terrible, but sort of lousy. I could do something else here. I could put a pair of vice grips on there. But you know, I think this is okay because I think this is all right. I've got the end of the screw is penetrated. End of the nail, rather, is penetrated. I would like it to go further through. So I think what I'm going to do here is... I also did not pay great attention to up and down on this, which I should have. Should have paid more attention to that, but so let's loosen this up. Take this off. What happens if I take these off? Maybe I'll just take these off. I'm a little worried that it's not really going to hold. Oh, and I screwed up even more than that because this needed to be glued. So I really screwed this project up because I didn't put any glue in here. But what I can do is I can pull this off, I think. So this is not a project for me to be really bragging about at all. What I want to do is pull this off. Although, could put glue in there now and squish it back together. That's what I'm going to do. All right, where's my glue? A little more in there. Can't have too much glue. All right, I think what I will do is see if I can shouldn't really clamp it like this, but it's better. Now for this side, I'm going to clip it, close my eyes, nice and close, and since I have the grinder right here, well, that's not terrible. It's lined up really nicely, which is amazing, despite the terrible job I did on most of what I just did. So that's really pretty good. So now I'm going to go back over here. There we go. So I don't plan on ever taking these chairs apart, these stools. Which is another reason I didn't want to take the screws out to fix it, because I think it's going to actually be a stronger fix if I just glue the broken pieces back in. Okay, there's going to be a lot of glue I think is going to drip from here. This will go in like that. This, I'm going to have to pull. Here we go. So that's pretty nice. I like that. Now, uh-oh, see some glue over there. This needs some lubrication. So these are pretty cool. This is called a quick clamp, generically speaking. We'll go right there. Don't actually stand it up, just because I have no good reason not to. So there we go. That's not terrible. And I fixed something today. That makes me happy. Over and out.